Bring America Back to Work. A Fareed Zakaria special. CNN Saturday night, 8 Eastern.
Alexander, I am going to give
I need
you
a drink of water.
one more chance before I lose my patience with you.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay?
I'm sorry.
Because I am now beginning to get irritated by you.
I'm sorry, you keep calling me a name.
Then shut it and start singing.
That was from the X Factor, who's finally made it to the United States. Yeah, so Mr. Mean's still there, isn't he? Alive and kicking.
He's there.
You've got some acts on this show who are kind of, you know, they've rehabilitated their lives, and you're making a big play of that. It's quite, I wouldn't say massively controversial, but unusual to do that. Tell me about some of those.
Well, when we created the rules, which were you could be 12 and there's no upper age limit, or you could be in a group, we also kind of said it has to reflect what is happening in the music business, this show. And in the music business, a lot of people who are having hit records, they've gone through similar issues. They've had drug problems, alcohol problems, home problems, you name it, they've had them. And they've normally, you know, used this to sort themselves out. And so I absolutely felt the same way. I didn't want to start putting too many rules on it. It was all about talent. Somebody wants to make their life better, they own up to what they did. I don't have an issue with that. And I had no qualm showing it.
It's a tough time for America at the moment, economically in particular. Politically, you know, no one's quite sure what's going to happen, whether Obama will win again or whatever. You've been here a long time now. What do you think of what's going on here to the country? What do you think about the fact that 10% nearly of the population are unemployed and so on? What's your advice to them, people who are struggling out there?
Insist on manufacturing in your home country. 100%. That's always the most important thing in my mind. You know, the fact that you have to get so much stuff made in other countries now is always going to be an issue. And until you sort that out, you're going to have problems.
You've been out of work. You know, it's only about 12, 13 years ago you lost pretty much everything when everything went boom and bust in England. To those who've lost their jobs in all this, who are really suffering out there, what do you say to them?
Well, you know, I had to sort myself out, but, you know, at least I had somewhere to live. I live with my parents. But, you know, it's not as doom and gloom as people think, because you look at companies like Apple and Google, which just can't be copied. No one's going to make a cheaper version of that because people won't buy it. That's what makes countries like America great, when they do something better than anybody else. And you've got to be realistic about that.
Barack Obama, to everyone's horror, most of all mine, name-checked you memorably last year. Would you can't vote for him, but what do you think of him? How do you think he's doing?
Well, you know what, I think as a Brit, it's quite important, and you'll learn this, Piers, that we don't get involved in another country's politics. In fact, you don't even do that in your own country.
Well, I get involved in it every night. What are you talking about?
No, but you shouldn't have an opinion.
I've got lots of opinions.
No, you shouldn't.
Why not?
Because we don't live here. We're not Americans. It's their politics. Let them make their own decisions. Same thing with religion. I never talk about that.
As a leader, how do you think he's doing?
As a leader, well, I think he's a decent guy. I really, really do. But, you know, what he's got to sort out right now, you know, anyone's going to have a problem with that. Look, compared to where we are now, and I include we, Britain, America, compared to what was happening 10 years ago on 9/11, and I watched the anniversary the other night, you know, where you genuinely thought this is the end of the world. And you go back to New York now and you see the positivity there and the fact that how we all dealt with that, and you can still be positive and optimistic. You know, that's what Brits do well, that's what Americans do well, you know. You move on and you remain positive. And the interesting thing right now is that with Google and Twitter and everything else, it's how much power people have again. I mean, you know, somebody asked me the other day about one of these weird influential lists or power lists, whatever they are. I know you care about them.
I do.
A lot. But truthfully, and the question was, you know, who is the most powerful person in entertainment? I said, right now it's Twitter and Google, and it's the internet and it's the public.
You're not on Twitter, are you?
I can't do it, but I watch it and I see the effect it has, but essentially it's people.
You're not worried about not getting as many followers as me?
Well, you're fanatical about being liked and listened to.
No, not being liked, being followed. It's a crucial difference.
No, but
I don't care why they follow me.
You know what that is? That is massive insecurity.
No, it's massive security.
No, it's not.
It is.
It's not.
The insecurity comes from those who don't want to test the water in case like you. They're worried about not getting enough followers.
You are insecure in so much as something must have happened to you as a child where you said something and nobody listened. And now you think when you go to the bathroom, people are interested and they're not.
They are.
They're not.
They're watching this show.
What?
They're not watching for you, trust me.
Well, they are, actually. We'll check X Factor's figures against Piers Morgan tonight, tomorrow, whatever it's called, next week.
We're going to take another break, thank God. And when we come back, we're going to bring out a little friend of yours, Nicole Scherzinger, who is a judge.
Just a minute, it's Scherzinger.
I said Scherzinger.
No, you said Scherzinger.
Well, Nicole, let's call her Nicole, shall we? Nicole, how are you? Lovely to see you.
Why are you being formal?
I don't.
That was like a weird...